And now, Freelance Heroism presents Dragon Heist.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before we even get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone out there who donates at the Patreon, in particular those who donate at the producer tier. Rachel,
Yes.
would you like to let us know who they are?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Nate, Breakmeister, Rebecca, and Chris Stones. Thank you so much, everyone.
You help us make a better show for everyone, and we really appreciate it, and so does everyone else. So,
Yes.
big round of applause.
I'm not putting in applause.
I know, but that's
Okay.
where it would go if it was there.
I feel like you're trying to trick me into agreeing that I'll put in applause, and then you'll be like, gotcha.
Look, if the weight of the shame of not doing it gets you, you know? I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. We've been there before. So I'll just say, if you wanted some space to put an applause, if that was something you did want,
No,
it would go in there,
absolutely not.
leaving you the available slottable gear spot for it.
No.
Well, you know,
Mm.
maybe we'll have a change of heart. Maybe 3 ghosts will come to you and be like, put some fucking applause in there, or we're going to drag your ass to hell.
Like the ghost of podcasting.
Yeah. I am the ghost of podcast past. You know, I got real busy lately, but before then, pretty much open up. Podcast is relatively new. Oh. Anyway, so we were talking about we're playing different games right now.
Yeah.
I'm playing ESO and you're playing Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Both. I said Elden Ring.
So good. You have to say it with more enthusiasm because it's so good.
I don't think I do. I think I said it fine. I think I said it at the tone with which it deserves.
I don't think so.
Well, hold on. I'm not going to tell you when to put claps in. I'll give you an available space, but you don't get to tell me when I ought to like something. Look, I like George R.R. Martin, and I'm sure this game is good, but we were just talking about character building.
Yeah.
And I was talking about I just finished my 4th level 50, which is the level cap in ESO. Different classes. And then you said...
I don't do that. I don't make like multiple characters and then max out their level and then make a new character.
How you know what's good?
I will learn as I'm playing.
Yeah, but you can't try things and then take them back, right? And then try other things.
I mean, I can just put in points for different levels. I can try out different gear. Once I pick a character, and I do this, like I did this when I played MMOs too, was that I had my main and I didn't really play any alts. I pick
They're
a character.
Okay, well, I'll let you describe your thing, and then we'll argue this.
I pick my character, and then I do all content on that character. I do everything. I go everywhere. I do every quest line. I get every piece of gear, even if this character spec won't use it. I'm getting it on this character because this is my main, and this is what this character gets.
What the fuck are you talking about? Even if my character won't use it?
Yeah.
What a waste. What are you talking about? Like you get a 2-handed sword on a fucking mage because you just want it?
Because I want to do the quest line.
That's insanity. What are you talking about? I'm so glad we're talking about this now because I feel like Jesus. You're the Jeff Bezos of MMOs. I want it all. So. But it's not for you, Jeff. I want it all. I want a boat that parks in another boat and a helicopter that lands on that boat. Jeff, what are you doing, man? People are starving. Yeah, but I want a boat and a helicopter boat.
When I play a game, I want, I have my main character, and I'm like, this is the character that's exploring this world and having these experiences, so they need to do it all.
Okay. How European of you.
That's how I feel.
Look,
I don't get the... Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead and say it. because I'm going to use it as a strong counterpoint in a moment. Go ahead and say it.
I don't like the idea of I'm gonna start over and do it again on new guy and go through a lot of the same beginner newbie stuff. Oh, I'm 50. I'm gonna hop on a new tutorials. One. It's not gonna get rid of everything.
No, it's not gonna get rid. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. When I play the game, I don't want to be knowledgeable about my character and then have to slowly be surprised about everyone else's character. I want to know everything. I want to play characters that I don't even like. I want to know how their moves work.
No.
I want to know how far away they are when they can finally hit me with a slash. I want to know what's their AoE damage like. How much self-sustain do they have? When they get up close to me in combat, I want to know when I need to dip back. And I need to know those. I need to be familiar with them as if like I had them. Right? I need to experience what they're using so that I can fight against it. I can't be having people out here surprising me in a combat situation. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to be surprised. You're not going to surprise me. It's not going to happen. Surprises in PvP are the worst thing in the world. You want to always know what can happen and make preparation for it.
I'm not a big PvPer, so that's probably a big part of why we have this difference.
I need to know all the tools, right? Like right now, I just finished playing Magic Paladin, and I actually surprisingly like them a lot. Or Magic Templar, I think they call it in this. And I am surprised by how much I like it. Like I wasn't certain I was gonna like it as much as I do, but I actually kind of really do.
Mm-hmm.
But that started out as me seeing a lot of Magic Templars and being like, I need to know how this works. So I made a Templar, started playing it, and I'm like, this is kind of good. Like, this is dangerously good. But yeah, so now, like, I'll log on to characters that don't, like, the Dragon Knight. I leveled a Dragon Knight, right? And I got them all the way up to 50, and I learned all their moves. So now, the other day, we're getting our asses stomped out by this fucking legendary Dragon Knight. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing that's so good? Like, how is he fucking us up? So then when I see the damage come through, I'm like, okay, so it's the whip. The whip is dealing a lot of damage right now, right? So then I go on to my character and I look at the tooltip. I'm like, the whip deals this much damage. And I can, like, go to a test dummy and I can just take a step back and use the whip. Take a step back and use the whip. Take a step back and use the whip. Like, oh, shit, damage falls off at a certain distance. Or this is how far he can hit you from. And then I start to, like, go back to my other character and I'm like, how far on the rogue do I need to, how far is a roll does it get me back? That's one roll. So if I take a hop step back and then roll, I'm out of range. And if I do that while I swap to the bow during the roll, then I can shoot him. I don't actually lose damage. So like that's in my head all the time. I need to know when I stun somebody that they're going to be stunned, right? Does the shield prevent the stun? I don't know. That's not something that is even written in the tooltip. You just got to try it, right? So that's what I do. And me and Nate have this argument all the time. He's sort of like you, that he'll make another character, but he like saves his money. Like he saves it for like when he wants to buy something really big. And I'm like, dude, this is fake money. It's not real. You know, just buy everything the second you have. Like, I had an idea the other day. I'm like, what if I used a ranged weapon on this melee character? Right? I was just like, let me go buy a weapon. And I'm like, well, I could buy a cheap one, but that's not going to give me accurate damage. I need to buy a really good one. So I spent 10 grand on a bow and then put it on the character. And I'm like, no, this sucks. Yeah, but I know it sucks. Right? I'm certain. I spent 10 grand for a piece of knowledge and I don't feel bad about it. And I'll do it again. I respec all the time because how the fuck, like some guy on the internet said it. That's why I got to believe him. Some guy said that move sucks. Oh, okay. Fuck that guy. I don't know anything about him. He might be terrible. His opinions might be dog shit. I'm going to respec into that move. I'm going to try it for a couple hours. Maybe he's wrong. Maybe he's using it incorrectly. Maybe he's just not as good as me. Right? Or maybe he's absolutely right, which is more often the case. I mean, but I want to know.
Yeah.
And so, like, to me, playing one character and putting everything on them.
Mhm.
Oh,
Well,
Jesus. How heavy is that?
I'm more into PvE, and you're definitely more into PvP. So,
For sure.
I mean, that's probably where a lot of this perspective difference comes in.
What does being strong mean if you can't, like, make people feel bad about their decisions in game?
That's not how I get fun out of a game.
I was kidding. Would it be weird if I thought like that? No, but I think
if I can't humiliate someone while I'm playing a game, then how can I enjoy it?
Yeah, I got my Dom structure going. I gotta, no, but I don't know.
Mhm.
I think that in PvP you want to prove that you're better than other people. Like the combat, I need to beat them.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
that's a driving motivator. I'm better than you.
that's kind of the point of PvP, I think.
Yeah. And well, I mean, it's not just like, oh, I won this one, but it's like they're better than the computer can ever be. They adapt and they think differently.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, even though a move does less damage, it's easier to hit, right? So
Yeah.
what does missing all of your moves mean? If it does, it theoretically does more damage. That's some PvE shit.
I love the FromSoft, Dark Souls, Elden Ring games, and those have a reputation of like, oh, these the bosses are so hard and stuff. But I find PvP more difficult than a Dark Souls boss. Because a Dark Souls boss is programmed to do like certain movesets. Like when I was fighting Godric the Grafted, it's like, okay, he does this wind thing, he does it 3 times, and then I can run back in.
Right.
But if I'm playing against a person, I don't know how many times they're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to change every time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just backing up for no reason. I'm just slowing my tempo down. Yeah. I mean, and then there's other times where like they'll bait you in. Like they won't use it, and you don't even know if they have that move.
Yeah.
And then you run in, and there it is. Yeah. I mean, that's why it's fun. That's why it's really fun. Like the other day, we were getting our asses tooled up by this Dragon Knight. This guy is so good, and like I just remember being like, "What is happening here?" Like, I don't get beat that bad, like by anyone. And I just had this real feeling of like, this guy's just like light years better than me. And so like the second time he came back, I had like planned a new strategy of attack, and this is where like in the moment it feels stressful, but that's where the fun is.
Yeah.
Because now I'm adapting to an actual like serious fight. This guy was very good. He beat the shit out of all 3 of us like it was nothing. Right? And there's lots of factors that go into it, but I mean, there's no beating the fact that he was just more familiar with his moveset than I was. And he was better geared, and he just had a better understanding of his class. And I guarantee you that he plays multiple classes and does the same thing I do. You don't make decisions and movements like that in PvP without understanding who you're fighting. He was just at a range of everything I did. He was rolling at the right time. He knew exactly when to wait for the ultimate because he knew how much damage we could put out from that range. Brilliant. Just top tier play. I was very excited about it. When you fight a boss and you defeat a boss, like a big one that's clearly, like, I will say this, in PvP, me and that guy have the same ability to get to the same strength, right?
Yeah.
That's not how it is in PvE, right? That boss is going to be way more powerful than you.
Yeah.
So there has to be the pattern memorization, the observational kind of thing. So you're kind of doing the same thing I'm doing, but sort of like there's no wiggle room for failure in yours. There's not like,
right.
Oh, I better think about that again.
True.
Right?
Yeah, there's not
the
really
punish is harder in yours.
Yeah, they're like with the bosses, it's like they're never like, unlike a player, because a player could be really good or they're gonna miss something, they're gonna like mistime one of their abilities or something like that. But typically with the boss, they're programmed to like on a strict schedule of I do this, this, this. Like they're not gonna mess up. They're not gonna mistime something.
The idea of you saying on a strict schedule, I just imagined this giant fucking ogre with a club looking at his watch, standing waiting for a train, like in a suit. And it's just like, he's like, I'm gonna be late. Oh, that's funny. Sorry.
All right. It's all right. I think we've probably talked about video games enough, I think, at this point.
What's the name of this episode, Rachel?
Well, this is Dragon Heist, episode 51, because we're back to Dragon Heist.
Hey.
Midnight in the afternoon.
God damn it. I know what this is about. Okay.
Yes, we left off. You guys were in the villa. It was on fire. You guys had defeated the big dude. You guys did level up.
Yes.
Some of the hostages were dead. Some were not. You do know that part of the Black Network was trying to escape through a sewer entrance down on the first level.
Some of them already got away.
Yeah, some of them already got away. Last you knew, there was 4 still in that room guarding it, but you're not sure if they dipped in the sewers with the others or whatnot. The sewer entrance was right under the treasure room, which means most of the treasure's going with them. And the guard should be arriving almost any time now. So.
I love that guy locked in a trunk with some armor.
And you have a guy locked in a trunk with 2 full plate suits of armor. And I'm not going to guarantee his health or safety in that trunk after you slammed it.
You know what? He chose a life of crime. It's not my responsibility to hold his hand. So.
That's the essence of Adrian Down. Sucks to be you.
That's what this Adrian is.
Yeah, this Adrian and the other Adrian are not related.
No.
I think we have disproven that all elves are related.
Yes.
We have broken the cycle.
That would be hilarious for them to meet, though.
Oh.
Okay.
Maybe it doesn't apply to mirror universe elves.
Oh, D-Walk, you're going to be upset. I don't know which one of these. Okay, can I just get a poll of the audience? Okay. Heavy Armor Master, which will give me from a DR3 versus any non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage that I take. I'm already hard to hit, right?
Isn't there an anti-crit thing in there somewhere too?
I don't see anti-crit yet.
Okay, cool.
But it says my strength score by 1 goes up, and then heavy armor, the bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage you take from non-magical weapons is reduced by 3 every time they hit, which is pretty good because they're already hard to hit. But the other one is freaking tough, which gives me 2 extra hit points every level and 2 times my level in hit points now. Right?
What is your strength score at right now?
16.
Okay. So because you wouldn't get a damage increase, would you?
There'd be no damage increase.
Right.
Not until 18. Right?
Right.
Yeah, so, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20 breaks instead of 6.
No, 20 is 5.
16, 17 is 3. Right? 18, 19 is 4.
It's 4. 20 is 5.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why. What did I say? 6?
I don't know.
Yeah, you said 6.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my mistake. We were on the same thing, but I said the wrong number out of my mouth.
Okay. Gosh. Heavy Armor Master kind of depends on what kind of, it's situational for like what kind of enemy you're fighting. Whereas
Right.
tough is just you get a bucket more of hit points.
Right. And later on when Constitution goes up. Right now, if Constitution goes up, I get 1 per level. So the tough at this point is better than the 2 points. So that's not a negotiation right now because that's going to give me a quicker boost faster.
Yeah.
The heavy armor master, though, is I get hit so infrequently. Is a larger pool or is a reduction in damage that comes through? Because if that's the case, then a person that hits and gets a bad roll that only gets a 5 or something, I'm doing 2 points of damage on an already really high hit point total. I don't know. It depends on really if you get that heavy armor that's in there and you can justify somehow me getting it. They were all bad guys, so I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of, but there's 2 sets of heavy armor, one of which is dibs as player characters. Dibs.
Well, I only grabbed 1 because I could only get 1 to fit in the trunk because there was also a guy in there.
Oh, God, Lord.
You wanted me to save that guy. I could have saved a trunk with 2 sets of armor, but you were like, no, we have to save this guy instead of slitting his throat.
Yeah, so we locked him inside a chest. Yeah, in a burning house.
I took him out of the burning house.
Oh, that's right.
No, that's
he's out in the street. He's out in the street in a chest now.
I'm happy that he's not burned alive, and I prefer that as a character. I prefer that to the armor.
Okay.
But outside of that, what the fuck were you thinking? You couldn't go back a second time?
No, because you were getting your butt handed to you by some dude upstairs.
Wasn't that after?
That was like during, because you were like, oh, save the guy, and then you ran upstairs.
Right.
And then Rain was like also fighting some other guys, and then Adria showed up and was like, oh my god, my grandpa. Grandpa, how did you get here?
Okay, I'm going to... Because I don't know if I'm going to have the armor. Thanks, Adri. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I think it would be hilarious if that trunk is sitting out in the middle of the street and like a huge horse-drawn carriage with like 8 horses just comes along and just mows it down.
Or someone steals it.
It's like, you're like, look, there, you're safe. Wham!
Bullshit, he's never going to believe me.
Oh, mate, that is an amazing idea.
No, my armor's in there.
Now we're both in the boat.
Oh, man.
You know what? I'm proficient in blacksmithing, actually. I can probably fix that armor.
Yeah, you can buff that right up.
Yeah, and just wipe that blood right off it.
Yeah, well, I'm proficient in horse repair. So...
I thought you were about to say something else.
What did you think I was about to
I
say?
thought you were about to say you were proficient in horse shit.
Oh, okay, that's better than
what did you think? What did you think? What were you thinking?
I don't want to say what I was thinking.
I know exactly what you were thinking. You thought I was going to say that you're proficient in horse fucking.
That is exactly what I thought. That is exactly what I thought you were going to say.
He has a PC in bullshit, but
I have a PC in horse D, a PhD in horsey D. Aren't you glad we're recording? all this hot jazz.
I've got a PhD, plenty of horse dong.
We play it by ear. It's about the jokes you don't say as well.
That's right. Yeah, that is true.
What feat did you pick, Dees?
Tough.
Okay.
All of my feats are one word. Healer. Tough. It's like, describe your character. Healer, tough. Right on.
Are you
a Dodge?
I was about to say, are you a D&D character or a pickup truck?
I'm a pickup truck.
It's tough, spelled Tuff.
Oh.
Yeah, just one F. How about you give it a second F to your sister?
Oh!
Oh Oh
Oh, you know what?
Oh shit!
Nate's back being hurt isn't a flaw. It's a feature. Because I am going to make him feel jokes in agony.
Oh god.
Right? I'm gonna look at him and be like, "How good is this joke?" And I'm like, "Is he wincing?" Tears is going to be my goal for tonight.
You bastard.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Oh wait, they're gonna play a commercial. Never mind. I was gonna play Barry White music, but I was like, the amount of time it was gonna take. I should just have that locked and loaded.
All right. Are we ready to start playing?
Not even close, but let's try it anyway.
Okay, let's go for it. Maybe we can squeeze out 20 minutes of gameplay.
Never gonna happen.
Yep.
I'll stop.
All right. So you guys are all still upstairs, right?
Yes.
All right. So we pick up. You guys have defeated the enemy. You know, he's dead. He's on the ground. Most of the hostages are dead. You do have some of them alive.
We did what we could.
Cedric said one of the dead was a masked lord, so I was going over to see like who that was.
Yes.
I'll join Miss Adria because I'm fairly certain that if she can't identify them, I probably can.
So, as you go check out the masked lord that's dead on the there, you see an older man, mustache, dirty blondish hair. It goes, it's long, a little past his shoulders, kind of heavier. He's dressed in black leathers.
Does he say that we have another thing coming?
No.
Oh.
Do I recognize this man?
Give me a wisdom check to see if you recall him.
The other Adri is good at that. Oh, I got 19. Maybe I'm good at that.
All right.
The journey of self-discovery.
You do recall him, Nate. You recognize him immediately.
Okay.
Adri, he has a wolf totem around his neck that, for some reason, the Black Network left there, almost kind of like a trophy to help identify him. Adri, you've seen your dad talk to him at different times in the yawning portal. You know him only as Mert. Nate, you know him also as Mert, but you also do know he is heavily in the Harper's organization. He also answers to the Lady Silverhand, and he was secretly one of the masked lords of Waterdeep.
Mert and Bernie.
Is Mert his real name, or is Mert what he goes by?
Mert is his real name.
Okay.
And he'd been murdered. Mert meet dirt. Sorry.
That's you guys actually see Cedric pretty actually shook seeing him dead.
Do not let me tell the family. I'm sorry. I have to alert that Mert met dirt and is now very much hurt. It could not be Wirt.
I did a oh god, what did I cast? That was like really loud, and I cast it twice, and I got rain both times.
2 thunder waves, I believe.
That's right. I cast 2 thunder waves. So
what? All I can see is your lips flapping, Miss Adrian. I can't hear a damn thing.
That's so weird.
But Nate, you do. Rain also would know that his wife passed away a few years ago, which is most likely why he's been at the Yawning Portal drinking.
Okay.
He was one of those like high adventurers,
sure,
Drizzt level style, and just kind of let himself fade into the background of Waterdeep.
Well, this is going to cause a problem.
Cedric's like, yeah, they're going to bring down the Inquisitor.
Inquisitor?
when a masked lord dies, you just don't call the normals in. This is beyond like a noble's death.
Oh.
This is going to be bad.
Like super police.
You think your buddy Blast one's bad?
I do.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing on who they're going to call next.
Should we get out of here?
I think at the very least we should get out of here. We may also want to consider getting out of town before they lock it down.
I can't get out of town.
Well, why can't you get out of town?
Sergeant Anders has made his way up the stairs by now. Looks behind you guys. Why are you guys so solemn? Didn't you guys just win?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tried to get here in time to save them, but unfortunately.
He's like, it's the price of the watch. We don't always get to everyone.
That's
true. No, it's worse than that.
It's worse than that. This is quite a Pyrrhic victory, and I point to Mert on the floor.
Hey, wait. Isn't that the adventure Mert?
Well, that's one of the things he is, yes.
Can you guess the second?
I've seen him roll with Blackstaff.
It rhymes with bread.
I just got a slow turn.
Why don't maybe we should get out of here so that way you guys, I'm like gesturing at Anders, can,
if we leave,
investigate.
That makes us look suspicious.
We don't want to be like in their way while they're investigating and writing up reports.
You know what? The lies do seem weird from an outsider perspective. This must be what it's like when you guys were like watching me try to like make shit. Like, we should get out of here.
I just don't want to be in their way.
Right. I just don't want to, like, it's so cluttered here. It's really making my anxiety.
You know what they say? Too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't want to contribute to that.
I think we shouldn't even have a kitchen. I think meal prep's the way to go.
Well, Sergeant, this is going to look bad no matter what happens. And because of our friend here on the floor, there are going to be an awful lot of organizations within Waterdeep that are going to, well, be upset would be putting it mildly, I think. I really don't know what the right play is here, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, you've been with us the whole time. You've witnessed everything that's happened here. You can vouch for us as we can for you and your men, but this is still going to be bad.
I've been here a couple times. It's not good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, if you guys bail, they're going to definitely loop you in with the people that run the place. Whether I vouch for you or not, they'll still bring you down to the courthouse when they find you.
We would have fled a scene.
Because then they're going to be wondering what you fled with, and even if you didn't flee with anything,
they have to search.
They're going to
go through everything.
They're going to assume that there is something, because otherwise you wouldn't have fled. Anders is just kind of rolling through his head. And somebody cracked thunder in here?
I will kind of raise my hand.
I had a big lunch.
That explains the Griffin cavalry outside already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm going to go outside, meet them, leave the dead bodies where they're at. I can't tell you guys what to do. I was here. I'll vouch for you guys. You guys had nothing to do with it. You guys, I'm 100% word on that. There's a reason you brought me with you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got my two sergeants with me will do the same thing. I mean, oh Lord. All right. I'm going to meet them outside, start bringing them in.
I'm going to lean over to both of them and I'm going to say, hey, quick. I need to not speak to any of the people that are going to be asking questions.
Obviously.
I need to speak in short bursts
Hmm.
whenever I'm directly asked a question. If they ask you something, tell the truth. Just do it. Tell the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. Tell the truth.
So Anders heads out. Esville
Sorry.
stands up, getting her wrists, pretty much getting the ties off her wrists. She's like, I'll vouch for you guys too. I have noble blood. I have a signet ring. I was with the hostages.
No offense. I don't really like being around you guys. People like us tend to get, deaded when we're around you.
She
No
nods.
hard feelings.
Yeah.
Hey, you kept me from getting my throat slit. It's all that matters.
Yeah, it's your turn to repay the favor.
Do my best.
What does that mean? Do the absolute
You just said
best, not
people
your
around.
best.
You
Get
just
some
said
friends in to give you a hand.
Hey,
She looked over at Cedric.
Kavir,
We just gotta take them both by a hand, and we just gotta lead them over into the corner and sit them on a small chair.
Kavir, remember what you said like 20 seconds ago about answering just short, simple.
I'm
Very
talking to the other
quickly.
people.
I
not the-
think you should start practicing that now, though. Like you should start implementing that now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great.
Mhm.
Esville looks over Cedric. Don't you have your ring on you? Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Cedric reaches back into his pouch and pulls out his signet ring from his family.
Uh-oh.
Is that-
Spaghetti-O.
Is that like? Are they gonna search us?
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Well, Cedric's like, not if we claim you as under our protection.
that would be great.
Far be it from me to suggest such a thing, but I part of me almost wanted to say, why don't you just tie us all up and we'll pretend to be hostages? But I don't think Kavir would go along with that plan because that would suggest that he was capable of being taken hostage, and I don't think that would play to type. So,
Oh, I mean, I totally could be taken hostage.
yeah.
I think that's just complicating things. Didn't you just say
Yeah.
we should be like truthful?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a lie?
Well, he said that. I didn't. But
Yeah.
He suggested the lie. I didn't suggest the lie. I could have been kidnapped.
I just don't want to be searched. All right.
Yeah, because you have fucking the other family ring on you.
He loaned that to me, and I forgot to give it back.
Right. I'm sure that'll be believable. Everyone's just going to be willing to accept that.
Also, I think you probably should go scratch out that note on the back of that mirror over there because people are going to try.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You've literally painted yourself into a guilty corner. That's amazing.
I'm sorry, Kabir. I take Kabir back out of the chair and I put Adri into the corner now because that's where she belongs.
Nobody puts Adrian in the corner. Except for the law, the fucking investigator, the inquisitor, the nobles.
You can hear the guards begin to come in. The metal of their boots hit the floors as they go through the rooms.
How did
And
they
you
get
hear
the griffins in?
You hear a deeper voice from downstairs. All right, if you can walk, come down. If we have to come up, we're shooting first.
What?
Well,
I
somebody
mean-
help your grandpa downstairs then, because I don't think I'm going to do too well.
All right. Let's head downstairs. I'm gonna help make sure like the other prisoners that we just freed can also like walk downstairs.
All right.
Screw that. I'm going down first. I'm going to have my hands above my head.
All right.
I've done this a few times.
As you do, you get to the bottom of the stairs. You recognize Maloon War Dragon, one of your old battle buddies.
Oh,
He's like,
anti-ugh.
he's like, Anders, you didn't say it was him. He's like, who? Yeah, I did. You said there was 3 Avengers not upstairs, not 2 Avengers and an asshole.
In all fairness, there's a few more assholes up there. Can I put my hands down now? Are we good?
He waves your hands down. Yeah. you guys can't leave. If what Anders told me is true, we got a message up to Silverhand. She's going to be sending some others. So we just got to stay here. We've got to go through things piece by piece.
Well, that's fun. Gonna waste an entire day.
He shrugs. You see some mages walk in, and he points over to the side of the villa that's on fire. They begin creating water and just soaking the place.
I'll actually help with that since I can create water. That's probably a thing I could do.
I can create water too.
Back here, Kavir, you're not peeing on the fire. It takes a little bit of time for things to go through. Blastwind even comes in, kind of looks around, gives the three of you a sympathetic look once he's been brought up, but to Current from the others, and is kind of escorted out.
I just imagine the three of us are just like sitting in chairs up against a wall, like we're outside the principal's office.
Yep.
They have Cedric actually grouped with the nobles on the other side.
Already dividing us up, I see.
At one point, you actually see Balloon walk over to Cedric. I'm going to have to put you in manacles. They grab Cedric's arm and they pull up his sleeve, and you see the Black Network tattoo on his arm.
Oh, no.
Whoopsie.
He's like, dude, he's like, we know what you did. Anders is vouching for you coming in the back, and he ties the Black Network right now. Your family can't save you this time. They walk him out in chains.
We would have been killed without Cedric.
That's what Anders is vouching. But they have to see how far he goes, what he's done, what his full ties are. You know he's Luskan born, right? His family? They're not even actually Waterdeep. It's a Luskan by nature.
I mean,
But they live here now.
Technically from here, right?
True. But no one has forgotten the war with Luskan either.
No, that was a while ago. And people can change.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
No. He's got 3 character witnesses, so for whatever that's worth.
At that point, you see Dr. Midnite walking in as well. The bodies are upstairs. He looks over. He points to Kavir. I need him.
You know, I think you're real special, but I don't think we have that kind of relationship.
Dr. Midnite thinks you are very, very special.
Oh.
Ooh.
For the record, so do we.
I could use a man of his experience.
Oh, okay. Finish that sentence, please. Faster next time. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dr. Midnight's not on being in a hurry. He's about getting it right.
There's so many chances for these sentences to go off the fucking rails. All right. Fine. And I'm going to stand up and like, is it cool if I, go with the doctor? I'm going to look at him. I mean, like I'm going to put little tiny quotation mark fingers like doctor.
Balloon looked over. I vouch for him. Let him go. Midnight's like, Dr. Midnight's thankful.
Okay, where to, goth kid?
Upstairs to the bodies. Plus, someone says there's a wicked shine upstairs. I'd love to see.
Lead the way.
So he takes you upstairs. It's kind of quiet downstairs for a little bit. You follow, Kavir follows Dr. Midnight upstairs, and instead of going the direction where the bodies are, he kind of veers to the right and goes to the room where you saw the half-orc come out of.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's in his room, he moves the curtains aside, and in the far side, you see the emblem of a white skull. the whole place just kind of reeks of blood. The stains on the floor. There's a sacrificial altar in the middle of the room. The place is just gnarly.
Yeah, not my style of design.
There's a body on an X cross hanging on one of the walls. And you can see lines drawn where to stab and cut to inflict damage. It's almost like a diagram how to torture. Yeah. Midnight's looking around. I didn't think much had the stomach to kind of go through and process a room like this to make sure if anything was out of place.
Well, looks like a lot of things are out of place in here, or at least were at one time.
He looks at the symbol. How well do you know the old religions of Faerun?
They're all the same to me.
That is Sirik. Once ruled Zentel Keep, and they served him after they served Bane. Zentel Keep is what became of the Black Network. It's where they found their origins. I don't know who they're serving now, but it disturbs me to see the god of murder has his minions in Waterdeep.
Well, there have been a lot of murders in Waterdeep, so seems like he's well represented.
Aye, that be true.
That's why you and I are so busy.
It's a curse, isn't it? You never want to be that busy in the profession we're in.
True. So what did you need me for? To walk around upstairs with you and speak in cryptic sentences?
No, to start cataloging and going through the items in the room. I can't trust any of the guards to touch anything, and with it being a shrine to a god of murder, who knows?
Well, fair enough.
Begin your searching.
Should I roll something?
Yeah, go for it.
What you want?
Your choice if you want to do investigation, perception. How would you go through the room?
Let's say perception and medicine.
All right.
I'm going to say medicine because we're looking for bloody mess and nastiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then perception because my investigation's dog shit. All right. I have a 16 perception and a 23 sorry, medicine.
All right. Midnight's off on the left side of the room, kind of just going through certain bodies, checking them, making sure, looking for identifying marks. As you look through the room, you see the altar in front of you. It seems like the altar was cleaned recently for the room. There's not an actual like body on it. There's bodies around it. There's on the floor blood, but you see a piece of paper kind of weighted down on the what's it called, on the altar, and past it you see a box on the floor kind of tucked down the back side of the altar, open. The box is black leather with a red trim.
Okay.
You see black onyxes on it with blood grooves kind of in them.
Any of that makes sense to me?
Not off the top, not without like a religion check.
Yeah. That's not really my thing, but I'll try it. Not really my thing.
No, but if you go closer and look at the box, you see it's open, and you see spaces for 5 daggers where 3 are missing and 2 remain. The daggers have a weird jaded edge to them. The hilt also is a black onyx, where you can almost see the red around it as well. And the dagger just doesn't seem right, if that makes any sense.
Well, I guess I pick it up. And also the paper. What's the paper say?
You pick up the box or the daggers?
I pick up the box.
Okay.
There's no reason to deal with sharp edges as things you don't have to.
No worries. And you pick up the paper?
But yeah, after I'll take the box. I'll close the box up. If I can't find any more of the missing blades in the room, or on the body of the guy, what's his name? I couldn't remember. What's the tough guy that we had to fight that was a freak?
I have it written down.
That guy was strong as shit.
Is it Gowan?
Gowan.
I believe so, yeah. Yep.
If it was, I'll check Gowan. Since I'm up here with like sort of authority of medicine,
yeah,
I'll check him over for those as well.
You don't see the daggers on him.
Okay. Well, then I'll take the box and set it aside, and then inspect the note that was weighted down.
You do see though on Gowan that on it, a little below his neck, he does have the symbol of Sirik carved into it.
Well, yeah, I don't think there's any mincing whether or not he was a follower.
Yeah, and the note.
Yeah, or the whatever it was, the paper.
All right. Are you reading it?
I mean, not aloud, but I'll probably take a gander at it to know what it is.
Give me an intelligence check. Actually, I'm sorry, a wisdom check.
Thanks.
Sorry.
I swear to God, not 20.
Lucky you. As you read it, it tells a part of the story of Sirik and how he was turned to a god from mortal.
Huh. It's like Caden Kalian, but evil.
Yeah, it dates back to the time of the Troubles where Mistra and Kelvmore were actually mortal as well, and Sirik was with them. And each of them became godhood and speaks of the heroics and the truth of Sirik and how he was betrayed by his friends or who he thought was his friends. A woman named Midnite who eventually became Mistra and Kelvmore.
Okay.
The page kind of seems, I don't know, like it's pulling you to it. I mean,
it's pulling me to it.
Yeah, mentally you don't give into it. You don't, but for some reason it kind of like it almost makes you want to learn more of Sirik. Like you want to dive deeper into Sirik.
Sorry, but this dude's taken. Appreciate it. I'm gonna fold it up and set it over with the daggers.
All right. Midnight comes over to you. What have you found?
Well, I found what looks to be the tools, and my first thinking is that they're the ones that are used to do the murders and commit those types of let's say foul surgeries or whatever, the flayings.
Dr. Midnight opens the box just slightly, closes it. 5 stones, 5 knives, the 5 fingers of Sirik.
Well, there's 2 in there, so maybe he's just giving us a
maybe
it's a gesture.
You're a chuckle under his mask.
The other thing we found is this piece of paper here. I would not suggest reading it. It's some religious nonsense, but for whatever reason, it really seems like
crescendo.
Say again.
Sirik wrote a book, and it was imbued, and anyone reads it that goes mad, completely mad about Sirik. That thing was lost 1,000 years ago.
Well, I wouldn't read this because it'll make
no, it's only a page of it, but that should drive you completely insane. Are you okay? He touches your head. His hand's covered in the blood from the bodies and shit. He just got done digging through. He touches your head and tries to check your temperature.
I'm fine.
Through a glove.
He just takes your temperature by first licking the blood off his finger, then sticking it in your mouth and being like, feels a little warm.
You feel a spell effect go over you, kind of like it's washing you of effects, like it's clearing your mind. It's um any like ill effects, like blind, it's that kind of stuff. He's pretty much clearing you with magic.
He's giving me the old Phaeton clear.
Pretty much, just in case there's any lingering effects from the page. He pulls out a pair of tweezers out of his belt and picks up the paper and opens the thing and slides it in and shuts the case.
Be careful with that.
Dr. Midnight has to talk to the guards now. Dr. Midnight cannot let the guards take this.
All right. Well,
This-
I'll go back downstairs and wait.
He takes it and falls with you and goes to talks to Maloon. Tells him what it is. And Maloon's like, this can't be another art. Are you taking another artifact from a crime scene? Dr. Midnight swears this is for the safety of the city. This should be buried where no one will ever find it. Lady Silverhand will determine if that gets buried or not. So Midnight hands it over to the guards as directed, and Maloon sets it off to the side. And kind of, he keeps looking at it, keeping an eye on it, and waves Midnight back upstairs. Downstairs, it's been kind of just quiet this whole time. The guards have been moving in and out, going through the paintings. Once everyone's downstairs, you see 3 of the guards come out of the treasure room holding a Nimblewright, destroyed, shattered in pieces.
Oh no.
You're like, we found this down in the sewers. It was 20 feet off the hole. There's a bloodbath down there. Moon's like, what do you mean bloodbath? Like massacre. The Black Network never got far. Someone was waiting in the sewers for him. Balloon looks over and he kind of looks at you, the 3 of you, kind of looks back. No, it wouldn't be them. They wouldn't have set up a second group. They were here helping. Who would have known they would have been chased in the sewers?
Can I, David, since I have sort of a background with tinkering and things like that, from where I'm
Mhm.
at, can I look at the Nimblewright and get an idea of like maybe what caused the damage to it?
Sure.
Okay. Would that be an investigation?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Rolled 1. Never mind.
All right. It got tore the fuck up. They set it down. One of them holds up another an item with it. Found this on it. And they're like, what the hell is it? I don't know, some kind of stone. Moon looks at it. Oh, we'll put it with the box. Put it with the knives. We'll deal with it later. So they walk over and they set it down over there. Moon's like, so get back in the sewers. And the watch kind of stops and looks at him. We have no jurisdiction in the sewers. You're out of your damn mind. Whatever the hell tore through them, we're not going.
Just out of curiosity,
Go for it.
gentlemen, what exactly was done to the bodies down there?
There's some limbs ripped. One body looks like he's ripped out his own eyeballs. Another one, his hand's still on the knife that's impaled in his head. I don't know if he grabbed the knife after it was impaled. Another one looks like it was like digging in his ear with a knife. I don't know. It was.
That
Then there's one with a cracked head open and there's like the brains missing.
I know what that could be.
I look over at Miss Adri.
That sounds like a mind flayer.
I think it's the Iron May hair flay. That's
That means it was really close. I don't want to be here anymore.
so Mr. War Dragon.
Yes, Mr. Touche.
I think we might know what caused that damage.
I'm intrigued. Let me know.
Well, we several weeks ago happened to find ourselves down in the sewers for what
I
at
heard
the
about
time.
that.
Yeah,
You
what
guys
at the
take on a
time.
mind flare.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be alligators in the sewers, not mind flares.
Well, I'm here to tell you there are both. And one of them is a much larger problem than the other. I'll let you figure out which one is which.
At that
You won't
point,
believe it. More at 11.
would you like to know more? Someone comes walking in, bald head, tattoos, white robe, gray trim on it. Looks over. Maloon looks over. Ah, shit. May I introduce you all to Gaivan, True Seeker, Sorcerer Divine Soul, and the Inquisitor of the North Tower. He extends his arms and he bows.
I'll return the courtesy, the gesture. Just
So
sitting here thinking with a name like Truth Seeker, he's got to be good.
he lifts up a finger. Did I hear this somebody say mind flare, as in the Ithalid?
That would be correct.
And you are the ones that the stories are going around that beat the mind flare in the sewers.
Well, beats maybe a tad bit strong of a word. I think I'd much rather go with survive. But yes, that is correct. As you can see, sir, my head and the heads of my colleagues are still very much intact.
That is true. May I? This is going to sound awkward. Look in your ears.
Heyo.
I sit and contemplate that for about 3 seconds while I'm trying to figure out how I'm physically capable of looking in my own ears.
He pulls out a small stick with a cotton swab on the end of it.
Ah. I assume you'd like to put that in my ear.
I would.
Well, as long as it's just my ear, okay. Go right ahead.
He walks over and gently swabs your ear. He pulls out a vial and drops in, spins it around. Nothing happens. Pulls out a second stick with a cotton swab. Who's next?
I assume that's good, right? If it doesn't turn colors, that means I still have a brain, or
That means you have not been infused by a tadpole. There would have been a little slime where the tadpole would have climbed in.
Well, that's good.
Assuming
Perhaps you should check. Go ahead and check the other ear then, if that's what we're looking for here.
Okay.
He
swabs the other ear.
I was about to say, there's more than one entry port here that we might use. My nose, my ears. You know what? I'll drop my pants at this point if that's what we're talking about.
He laughs for a couple of seconds. You're okay.
All right. Well, I'll take your word for it then. But I'm like super conscious now, and I'm like patting myself down.
They can go through your eyes too, but I'm not seeing any distortion in your eyes.
Well, no more than normal, I would imagine.
He looks at Adrian Kavir. Who's next?
Sure.
He walks over and again gently in the air, checks it with the file. Nothing on you. He looks at Kavir. Doctor. Do you want to do it yourself? Or shall I?
I'm going to lean over.
He swabs quickly, gently, checks it.
When he takes it, I'm going to grab the swab.
All right.
And I'm going to look at it before it goes in my ear.
Okay. No, go for it. You can do all the rolls you want on it. It's a normal cotton swab on a stick.
I'm just thinking, what better way to infect a person with a thing than to tell them you're testing for it and then just swim around in their ear? How else would you get in someone's ear, like undetected? To literally tell them you're testing.
Does this rag smell like chloroform?
Right.
That's exactly No, I get it. I didn't really think about that. I'm not even going to lie.
Judice, I got to give you credit. If I would have thought about that, I may have tried it, but I didn't think about that at all.
Dude, fucking colonial rifle my ear. Okay.
I like how though Kabir stood there and watched him do that to Rain and Atri, and then when it was Kabir's turn, he was like, "Hold on."
In all fairness, I stepped away to grab smokes for a minute, and I wasn't sure what room I was in, so I didn't want to talk until I was acknowledged, and nobody acknowledged me for like a really long time. So I just sat here in silence, like I don't know if I'm still at the bench, and you guys went off on your own. I didn't want to fuck up the continuity, so I didn't want to say anything.
Oh, that's
seriously, I didn't know where
no,
I was.
It's all good. So it's a normal cotton swab that, as you see.
Okay.
He checks it. He's like, at least the part of the story being amazing that you survived is true.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming you were at a party and told the story, because by the time it reached me, they said we had 3 champions in the city that defeated a mind flayer.
We didn't defeat it necessarily. It beat the hell out of me. It hit me with some sort of psychic thing.
Yeah, Ithilids, they do that. He puts it away and kind of looks. He's like, we need to individually, each of us, go through the events that transpired today.
This is going to be our, like, the office cutaway.
I will let you know your friend Cedric is not going to jail.
Yeah, he's rich. Of course he's not.
No, he's banished from Waterdeep. With the ties to the Black Network, we cannot. The only reason he's not being put to death is because of the acts of saving today, but is not to bring back the redemption of his ties to the Black Network. And we have no idea how many operations he's run with them. And speaking of this, there is a dead or alive on any Black Network agents in the city as of right now. With the death of a masked lord, it is time to end this gang war.
Yeah, I'm sure you all handle it right away. I'm sure it'll be done by the weekend.
No. And give it 2 weeks. The whole city will forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
And give it a month or so, maybe a year at the tops. Another murder around the scale will happen. Things will crack down. Maybe next time it'll be Xanathars that we go after. Maybe next time it'll be
the Basket Weavers Guild.
Yeah, Cult of Dragon, something. He kind of just, he shrugs. It's the games the politicians pay that we all have to deal with. My job is just to give them as much truth as I can and watch them fuck it up.
I mutter under my breath, I resemble that, Ramon. Son of a bitch. Work my fucking ass off.
So are we free to go?
After we talk. So who would like to go first to tell me how today transpired? Starting with approaching the villa with Sergeant Anders. How did you know? Wait, we're missing something here. Why did you bring Sergeant Anders here?
Well, you see, it all started with somebody stabbing a horse in the ass.
Right.
And then it kind of all went downhill from there.
He puts his hand up to stop it. I need a chair. It's going to be a long one. He sits down. You have my undivided attention.
Actually, it didn't start with the horse. Now that I'm thinking about it, we were already in conflict with some people.
Yeah, but I think the horse getting stabbed in the ass sort of brought us to this particular juncture of where we are in this adventure.
Spoiler alert, I did save the horse.
So who stabbed the horse in the ass?
That was me.
All right.
To be
And
fair,
why did we stab the horse?
Because it was carrying her really
I-
quickly away from where we were.
Yeah,
on-
I had waited by the gate, and then as it was coming out, I Legolased and jumped on and grabbed it.
You jumped on a runaway horse.
Yeah.
Did you know how to ride the horse?
She does things like that.
Because there was a guy on it that we wanted to talk to. I didn't seem to be in the talking mood.
All right.
He seemed to be more in the kidnappy kind of mood, to be honest.
Right.
Okay. I get it.
I get it.
Kidnapping.
You do?
Well,
I barely
looked
get
at
it
her.
and I was
So,
there.
Is she the target of the kidnapping?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you were. That's
Her mother's a famous paladin.
Hmm.
Family's known for a lot of money.
It's not that I'm lying to this guy because you were sort of you were on his
It
horse
wasn't-
and he was gonna.
Yeah, but like his goal wasn't to kidnap me. I just happened to jump on his horse.
Yeah, you kind of
You jumped-
hijacked his ride and he turned it around on you a little bit because
Yeah.
you realized you weren't getting him off.
And he looks at Adri. And your father is Ludo, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
The bard at the Yawning Portal,
Mhm.
All day long.
whose sister is the diplomat of Silvermoon.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Who
my
actually-
Ristlin.
So your father actually comes from High Noble in Silvermoon,
Uh-huh.
but is just a lowly bard here in Waterdeep.
I wouldn't call him lowly.
Ooh.
He's really good at
He's
I'm not-
his
I'm
job.
not-
slowly.
I'm not- He's like, so technically both sides of the family has money to
Mhm.
pull if you were kidnapped.
I guess. Yeah.
So I can
You'd
understand
never
the
think it,
kidnapping.
though. You'd never think it. You spend the day with her, you'd never, ever imagine that she came from money. It's just it's the damnedest thing.
Though that's because I believe, if I remember from my report that was given to me on each of you as I walked in or on my way here, she spends most of her time in the Temple of Gond covered in grease.
Right.
True.
But in all
Except for the
fairness, it's
time that they
Were massacred just recently?
well, I wasn't
You
there
weren't
for
there
that.
for the you weren't there for the massacre, but someone that looked a lot like Hugh was. Pointing at Kavir.
Yeah, we've had that issue.
Yeah, Blastwind said it wasn't you and preached high wind of how that wasn't the caliber of how you would have handled something like that, and it just doesn't fit. The guy had two eyes, you have one. And Mr. Trichet, where were you in the horse?
Point of order. You
Yes?
have a report on me? I'm just curious about that part.
Yes, I believe your sister is a pirate captain.
Your
Bad
sister's a
temper?
pirate?
Well, okay, let's be clear about this.
I'm sorry, privateer.
I like
she is
pirate better.
she is a merchant of the seas.
Huh.
And your brother is in
me.
Baldur's Gate. Your brother's in Baldur's Gate,
That is correct, at least as far as I know.
practicing law.
That is also
He's a
correct.
merchant of the land.
He is a barrister for the High Court. Yes.
Okay. And then he looks over at Kavir. Yeah, your file is larger than both of theirs.
Well,
I stifle a giggle.
Mainly full of complaint letters from your commanding officers, but once you get past those, it's actually kind of small. You kind of dropped off the radar after a mission or so ago. The official mission.
you trying to fill in some documents here?
No. Just wondering why. I try to figure out what makes people tick, because when you figure out what makes people tick, you can anticipate which way they go and where they've been. And there's a missing parameter here on who set the trap below in the sewers. And you guys bring in Anders here.
Well,
Which I'm not saying you're guilty. I'm not saying, Anders swears by your innocence. I actually have Rainier November outside swearing by your innocence the minute he heard you three were tied up in this, which is actually a huge pull because Lady Silverhand is not allowing me to take anyone into custody today.
I don't deal with a lot of you, of your nobles and highborns, and she's okay sometimes.
I'm not really a noble. I'm more of a truth seeker.
But those types I don't
like
to deal with.
I
didn't. You can tell from the other papers in that file of yours that I didn't like dealing with them before. I don't like dealing with them now. And if you think that I gave half a flying fuck worth of Griffin shit,
I would like to elbow Kavir.
I didn't have anything to do with the rich people's fancy fuck ups.
No, you normally spend time patching them up. That's what your file says. Once you get past all the noble bullshit, it's mainly just a combat medic who patched up his troops and patched up his enemy's troops.
Sometimes people are forced into situations that they can't get out of. They don't deserve to be stuck there.
I agree. It's all about the choices you make.
Rich guys send the poor kids to go kill each other on a battlefield, and then I'm supposed to feel guilty about helping them get to walk away from it, while the rich guy got to sit at his dinner table, have a nice glass of wine.
See, that's my target here. I want to find the rich guy that's at the trap down below.
I don't know who it is. That's what we're looking for.
And with your answers, that'll give me more puzzle pieces to get there.
Ask me something specific. You're asking me ephemeral things. Ask me something specific, and I'll tell you whether I know or not.
So you guys chose to bring Anders here after stabbing the horse. Let's start there.
No.
Well, not after stabbing the horse. That was just the
rider. Who was the rider on the horse?
Do you remember his name?
I don't know that we knew his name.
Yes, he was Erston Faust.
Yes. Oh, that was Erston.
Erstel.
Yes, the assassin of the Black Network.
Okay.
And Rain, he escaped after Kavir stabbed his horse, but Rain was able to follow him to this warehouse here.
And we did some minor surveillance where we learned that what looked to be petty larceny going on, more or less. There were statues coming out of this house, I think later to be determined to be counterfeit statues. But because we knew a gentleman was here, that's why we contacted Mr. Anders. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, we expected to find just a average run-of-the-mill criminal, and we stepped in it deep once we got inside.
And it was lucky that we had Anders here. Otherwise, who knows what the rich people might have thought of our actions. Selfless as though they were, oftentimes we're just lumped together. So
can we explain who locked a man in a trunk outside?
Locked a who in a what now?
We found a man locked in a trunk outside.
I did that. That was me.
What did you lock somebody in a trunk for?
Because he was unconscious. And Kavir was very concerned about his well-being.
And so you shoved him in a trunk?
It was easier than having to tie him up. We had limited time. We needed him to be quiet, and we didn't need him running off to tell the rest of the people in the building.
Yeah, we didn't know where you were. We didn't want someone to walk into the room and find an unconscious guy on the floor. So we were thinking out of the box by putting a guy in
a box. Okay.
Right.
But he's fine. I'm gonna look at what's his name, Gyron?
Mm-hmm.
Be like, but he's fine.
We made sure to go back for him after the building caught fire.
He's alive.
Yeah.
Mentally, that's for the clerics. Physically, he's walking.
That's
except for I think his face got smashed by a piece of metal.
That's
I was told he kind of
Do you mean to tell me the two of you put him in a box with other stuff in it? You didn't even. Okay.
I believe it was a full plate suit of armor.
I didn't have anything to do with
the armored one. The trunk got kicked when the Griffin landed.
Oh no.
The griffin landed, saw it, kind of like snuffed at it, kicked it, rolled, it screamed.
This is why you got to bubble wrap them.
So he's like, okay, so you followed Erstil Fox. Where's Erstil? He's actually on my top 20 list of Waterdeep I want to put away.
We
Mm,
pushed
might have
him
got-
out of the building. He might still be on his desk.
He's also nailed down.
yeah,
I made sure of that.
yeah.
Dr. Midnight came walking in. Rain, I believe these are your daggers.
Oh. Why, yes, they are. Well,
He hands them to you and walks back.
are they still
I-
covered and dripping with blood?
Yes.
Thanks.
Midnight has a problem with cleaning things.
Thanks,
sometimes.
Dr. Midnight.
He waves. He looks over. Interrogation. Midnight's like, He's like, that motherfucker. And he calms himself for a second. Has he ever taken off his mask in front of you guys?
No, I really
No.
want to examine it though. I feel like there must be some sort of filtration system inside.
30 years I've known him, and he's never taken that damn mask off.
Hmm.
I definitely want to look at that mask now.
I don't know. If he hasn't taken a mask off in 30 years, I'd be very afraid of what you might find underneath it.
He's like, did you lease that? He's like, it's Ursel.
Yes, it was
He takes
I who took down Erstil in the library with a pair of daggers.
He kind of gives you a golf clap. He's like, all right. So you chased Urstil. We killed Urstil.
Yes.
Oh, did he die?
Yeah, he was pretty close to dead.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he got stabbed in both hands and then
True.
crushed up against a wall.
And
then
I
the wall
thunder
pushed
waved
through
him
the
through
wall.
that wall. Yeah, that's true.
So I'm fairly certain well, for his sake, I hope so, because if not, then he is going to be in an awful lot of pain right now.
He's gonna be he seemed pretty mad when he saw me, so
Let's not forget his hands were both split down the center.
true.
So now he's got the weird.
Maybe we
Sets
should
of-
maybe we shouldn't maybe we should leave some things to just theater of the mind. Maybe we shouldn't go into
He's sitting in front of you guys now with his one leg crossed over the other, like elbow on his thing, elbow on his knee,
He's got
fist
a
under
perma
his chin,
Spock.
just kind of like looking at you guys like, I'm intrigued.
It's the greatest show in Waterdeep.
He's like, all right. So when is the point where you guys stepped in it big?
Pretty much right when we walked in the door.
Well, we got separated. Rain went in with Anders, right?
Okay.
But Kavir and I, we didn't think that all of us would be able to, that they would let all of us in. So Kavir and I came in through a side entrance, which was where we met that guy that you found in the box.
Mr. Chess.
And so we had to look for Rain because we weren't sure where he was. And luckily we found him just as it seemed like there was a fight breaking out. So we were very quick to defend our friend.
I came in under the guise with Sergeant Anders and his men, whose names I still don't know, to be perfectly honest with you, but they should be commended, whoever they are.
To whom it may concern.
To whom it may concern.
Congratulations.
Yes. But I came in under the guise of a community outreach program, wanting to speak to the businessmen of the community. And then when I met Erstil face to face, he made me an offer which I had to refuse. And that's when things went sideways.
Okay. That makes sense.
He called my bluff, so I stabbed him in both hands.
You must
As
be
you do.
commended. I don't know if I would have taken.
Well, sometimes you have to be resourceful.
And go for it.
Oh, well, so while we were engaged with Erstal, we heard some of the other men working here, and they said something about killing hostages, which was why we we stayed and followed them upstairs.
That's when he kind of gets kind of like quieter and more somber, and his demeanor changes. Yes, smirk.
Yes. We had no idea they were here until Erstal gave the order to start murdering them, at which case Mr. Kavir here ran upstairs with Cedric and tried to do the best he could, although he did run into some resistance.
Which I handled.
Eventually.
Well,
it
you
did,
were down.
It did kill your grandfather for just a tiny moment. Let's not forget that for a second.
What?
I look at Adri when I say that.
He kind of like
we were definitely caught off guard. Let's say that we did.
You weren't
survived.
the only ones.
Well, apparently not.
For them to capture Mert means there's somebody more powerful in play than anyone that you guys have faced in here.
Did we see the altar when we were there, or is that something that only Kavir knows about?
I think only Kavir saw that.
Yeah, I mean, we were upstairs, but I don't think we were.
No, you guys never went that way.
Okay, yeah, because that was in a different room from where the prisoners were.
Yeah.
Yeah, the complete. Oh, yeah. If you guys went one way, that was the other way.
Yeah. From Rain's standpoint, the capturing of hostages kind of ratchets things up a bit. You know, coming in, if all Ursula had been doing was faking art in order to, you know, make some cash on the side, that's one thing. But
he stabbed me to 1 hit point.
No, well, there's that too.
Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism Plays Dragon Heist. If you would like to support us, please check out our Patreon. We're at patreon.com/freelance_heroism. We have different things there. Character journals, art, bloopers, stuff like that.
Our cast includes me as Dr. Kavir the Raven, Rachel as Adri the Highborn Artificer, Nate as Rain Trichet, Dockside Officiant, and of course, D-Walk as Dr. Midnite, and everybody else in the game. Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism Plays Dragon Heist. And we don't invoice in this group. We'll be back next week with more episodes, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Dr. Midnite. Oh, wait, hold on. Hi, I'm Dr. Midnite, and I eat gator skins for breakfast.
I don't think that's not how Dr. Midnite sounds. You want to try that again? No.
Dr.
No.
Midnite.
No.
Sometimes I just drag my bottom teeth across the bottom of a pond when I eat what lands in there. Mm-hmm. You ever suck the barnacles off the bottom of a boat? The jelly bit's my favorite.
Ugh. Gross.
I got pond scum in my nose holes.